Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 16 updates and spoilers. We have 3 house guests of the day. Woo's-tastic, Enrique Marshall, and Teferi Tedeschi. I am so sorry if I said anyone's names wrong. So Woo's-tastic, happy 15th birthday, and they want to know thoughts on Arissa versus Julie. I like both of them. I think they both suit the show that they host well. I mean, Big Brother Canada is a lot more upbeat and stuff, and I think Arissa does a really good job with that. Chenbot is great on the American version. Homer is feeling really feisty tonight, and I'm getting a little nervous. Enrique, I'm glad that you're loving Beamley. Keep it up. And Teferi, yes, the blonde is my mother. Okay, so let's talk about Big Brother. As of the end of yesterday's spoiler, Caleb was starting to be like, yeah, I've pretty much decided that I want to nominate Frankie this week. He's even going to kick Frankie out of the HOH room for the night. That's not obvious or anything. So he's talking to Derek, and Derek keeps saying, he's pulling a Helen. He's like, it's too early, do we really want to get rid of Frankie yet? Caleb is not budging. He wants this to happen, and it's exciting. So Megaphone Maniac was back. Again. Come on, man. It's getting a little tired. So, at the time, Derek, Frankie, and Caleb were all outside, and of course, it was an indoor lockdown after that because you can't be outside with those shenanigans going on. So, Megaphone Maniac was like, Frankie is destroying you in the diary room, especially you, Derek and Caleb. I'm waiting for the Megaphone dude to come out with like a freaking novel and just be like, this is what's happening today, and I like pizza, and Frankie, stop eating so much fish. Seriously though, it seems like the messages are getting longer and longer. But anyway, they went inside, and Caleb definitely heard what was said. Again, this guy has like bionic ears, it's crazy. So, he seems really bothered by what he heard, and Derek is just like, no, like, Frankie wouldn't go after us, like, don't listen to them. So Cody and Caleb were chatting up in the HOH room, and it seems like Cody is agreeing with Caleb. They were like, who can beat us in the future? And they both agree that Frankie is a bigger threat than Nicole. So Caleb's like, yeah, definitely Frankie, but I want it to be a good decision for all 3 of us, me, you, and Derek. So it's important that he knows who Nicole would go after if she stays. So they need that information, and then they can move forward. So Derek joins in on the conversation. He's like, yeah, I guess I'm cool with evicting Frankie, but let me play devil's advocate. Derek is the devil's advocate of the season. He always does this. So he keeps trying to bring up all of these reasons why Nicole should be the one going this week, and then Frankie comes up to the HOH dressed in a freaking Parisian night suit. He looked like Rosie the Riveter. I don't even know what that was. But he goes upstairs, and the chat breaks up, obviously, because obviously. So yeah, we'll come back to that. So later on, Caleb and Derek are chatting alone in the HOH room. It's the same crap over and over and over again. They had the same conversation about 30 times last night. So Caleb was like, Derek, I need you to go talk to Nicole and find out who her targets are, and then we'll go from there at the end of the day, quite frankly. So, words of wisdom from Caleb also. Just like in school, don't let someone hit you first. You hit them first. Because school is just one giant fight club. So, Frankie disrupts this conversation too, and it was so awkward. Caleb is not good at this part of the game. He would not even look at Frankie. He just stops talking. It's just like, it's really bad. So, Victoria comes into the HOH room wanting to talk to Derek. The guys leave, and Victoria and Derek talk alone in the HOH room. So Derek's like, yeah, I'm working on something to keep you off the block. And he's like, I need to know. I see you've been talking to Nicole. I need to know who her targets are. So Victoria's like, Derek, I don't want to say. So she says that she trusts Derek, but she doesn't want to tell him because she knows that he's working with other people. Yes. So Derek is like completely denying this. He's like, who told you that I'm working with people? So he pressures her to tell him who he is supposedly working with. So she's like, well, I think you're working with Cody and maybe Christine. So Derek is like, no, not working with them. I really like Cody as a person, but we're not working together. Christine, definitely not. Really? I can't even believe that he's still denying it, but at the same time, I can't even believe more that he can get away with denying it. Victoria is just like, okay. So Victoria eventually tells Derek that Nicole will go after Cody if she wins the HOH. So I'm thinking this conversation didn't go great. It wasn't exactly a slam dunk. I mean, there are a couple ways that this could be taken by Derek. It would be cool, kind of, because Nicole would be going after Cody, and somebody's probably going to have to take out Cody at some point for Derek to win, because it sounds like a lot of people would vote for Cody if he was in the final two. I mean, we all see that Derek has played this crazy game, but the house guests don't even realize it. He's been too subtle for them. So it could also be taken as Nicole's going after my closest ally, or one of my closest allies, and I can't have that. So you know also this is trouble for Nicole, because Derek is worried that Nicole is going to snatch up Victoria. They're talking, and that's not good for Derek. So let's turn back, because I messed up my notes, to a little fun thing. This is just a fun tidbit. Derek, Christine, Nicole, and Victoria were all joking around in the living room about the Sloppy the Snowman competition, and Derek was talking about how he had to squeeze his huge feet in these tiny shoes that they gave him, and he was like demonstrating, and Nicole was laughing so hard she peed her pants. I can't believe this was only the first time that it happened while she was in the house, because do you guys remember, like, the first episode, she was like, oh man, I might pee my pants. Well, she did. It happened. So let's get back to the game talk. Frankie can tell that something's up right now because Caleb is being weird. So he goes and talks to Caleb in the dining area. They're sitting at the table. Frankie's like, you okay? Caleb's like, yeah. So Frankie's like, you feeling cooped up? And Caleb's like, yeah. So Caleb is all upset, he says, because those jamokes outside are ruining it for everyone. They get really bummed out when they have to go on an indoor lockdown because of the megaphone guy, and I don't blame them. So they start talking about threats in the game and like who's gonna be the hardest person to beat, and Caleb is like, Cody? So they talk about how Cody is really well liked, and it seems like Frankie is just trying to get the target off of himself. Alright, we'll come back to that. So, very important conversation right now. Derek was talking to Nicole, and he was all like, if you stay and win HOH, who are you going to nominate? So Nicole says that she would nominate Christine with Victoria as a pawn. Again, not really a slam dunk, but not the worst thing in the world. Okay, it's bad because this doesn't match up with what Victoria told Derek. It's kind of good because she's saying that she's going to go after Christine, and Derek has no use for Christine at this point, so, you know, it could go either way. So Nicole is like, well, everyone in the house wants Frankie up, but I don't know if Caleb has the guts to do it. So then she was also saying like, oh, maybe I wouldn't put up Victoria after all because they could just vote her out instead of Christine. So she said that she would put up Cody and Christine. So that kind of makes it line up a little more with what Victoria was telling Derek. Not quite, but a little bit more. So Derek is like, yeah, I'm going to do what I can to save you, but it might be a little too risky for my game, so we'll see. So Nicole's like, oh, well, if it's too risky, then don't do it. No! But can you guys see? Derek is totally working for that jury vote right now. So, okay, like I said, I messed up my notes. So Caleb and Frankie chat again. This time they go up to the HOH room, and Frankie's like, I just need to talk to you about something that's been bothering me. So Frankie says that Nicole told him that Caleb wants to take Cody to the end because Cody is like the best of the best in the house and Caleb wants to beat the best. So Caleb's like, all right, now hold on. Here's what happened. He said that Nicole and he and Nicole were discussing who they would want to go to the final two with. So Nicole was saying how she would want to go with the best because she wants to beat the best, and the best right now looks like Cody. So Caleb said that he agreed with Nicole. That's all that was. Chillax, bruh. So then Frankie's like, well, I think Nicole's just trying to make us doubt each other. He said, we're all bros and we need to be tight till the end. And he also said he wants to reiterate his commitment to Caleb as a human. What? So then Caleb's like, yeah, Frankie, you're my best friend in this house. And then Caleb says pretty much the dumbest thing, that he could say to Frankie in this situation. He's like, yeah, I'm really worried about the double eviction. I feel like I can't really trust anyone. I can't trust Derek. I can't trust Cody. I can't trust you, Frankie. And Frankie's like, me? You can't trust me? And he's totally shocked. And he's just like, you feel like you can't trust me? Like, why? That's messed up. And I'm thinking, like, what did you just do? Because now that opens the door for Frankie to totally go after them. If he wasn't going to do it before, he should definitely do it now. So Frankie brings the real world back into this conversation for Caleb. He's like, Caleb, you know what? I think you and I are the only people in this house who realize that this is bigger than just the game. And he's talking about how they're going to use this game as a stepping stone for their amazing careers. So Frankie says, I have a vested interest in what the world thinks of me. I have a name to uphold, too. I always think about if my actions reflect badly on my family, on my sister. I don't have the luxury of being a total dick F. He did not say F, he said the real word. He also said, it's just a game, but if you come off as a monster and no one wants to have anything to do with you, then it's not worth it. People lose their jobs and livelihoods over this. Oh boy, if this is Frankie under control, can you imagine what Frankie's like outside of the house? Nuts. But he's totally hanging that Ariana J. Beebs card over Caleb's head. He's basically like, if you backdoor me, you're not gonna have a duet with Ariana, which he's not anyway, and you're not gonna meet Justin. So it was just kind of like really creepy. So yeah, Caleb talked to Cody and Derek again in the HOH room. This is after his discussion that he just had with Frankie, and now he's like, yeah, so I'm thinking like, I'm most likely gonna nominate Victoria. What the funk? So he's completely flip-flopping on what he was saying earlier. He's like, yeah, after talking to Frankie, I just don't think he's coming after us. It's fine, it's cool, whatever. So Cody and Derek remind him of all of the reasons that Frankie should go this week. It is a long-ass conversation. It goes on and on and on. But this time, it's Cody and Derek saying that Frankie should go, and Caleb is saying that Nicole should go. So then the truth comes out a few hours later. Caleb says that he's worried that he'll be hated by America if he gets rid of Frankie this week. Boo! Too bad he's gonna be hated, well, not really hated, but people are gonna be upset because he didn't nominate Frankie. I just revealed what happened. So Derek and Cody are still pushing for Frankie to go. Caleb is insisting again and again that Frankie's with them. He's like, I'm nominating Victoria. Nicole's gonna go home this week. And they're like, all right, we agree. We support you no matter what you do. Yes. So this morning, Caleb was telling Frankie, I'm not gonna put you up. And then he says the second stupidest thing he could say to Frankie. He says, Frankie, if I was gonna put you up, this would be the week to do it. And I'll tell you, I thought about it. I ran through all the scenarios. What are you thinking? So he invites him back to the HOH room tonight to sleep up there. I guess he's trying to smooth things over. The sleepover's back on. So they agree that, well, I mean, they go into how great they are, and they agree if they make it to the final 2 together, that they're the best to ever play this game. And Frankie says, better than Will and Boogie. Can I get some Chill Town up in here? So they had the power veto ceremony today. Of course, Christine used it on herself, and Sheep Mode Cowboy nominated Victoria in her place, which means it's Victoria versus Nicole. And he told Victoria in his speech that she's just the pawn to Nicole. Alright, so not too much other stuff exciting going on this afternoon, but let me know what you guys think of Caleb's renom in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.
Edit.